Hi, I'm Sonali Verma, your design secretary for our 61 days course for UCEED examination brought to you by GP classes. Okay. So for our 51 days course, it's divided between two parts, which is part A and part B, just like how your question paper comes in your examination as well. So part B will be taken by me from day 1 to day 35, and part A will be taken by our other three faculties. For part A, you can check down the link below in the description box to know everything and more about part A as well. Okay. So for part B, the last video for your introduction to sketching, what we have done, we have discussed about the guidelines for UCEED examination along with the tools you can use and what I use personally, which in order to enhance your sketches and in order to save your time further. Okay. So please do check out that video as well. Okay. Okay. Before starting our day 2, which is line drawing and doodles, we are going to discuss about why are we doing it. Okay. So why are we learning about your line drawings and doodles is because in your examination, as I discussed in the previous video as well, your line quality matters a lot. Okay. So for your line drawings, we have several exercises, okay, in which we are gonna teach you how to improve your personal line quality, how to practice some exercises so that you can have a proper control over your wrist and your pencil. Okay. So after this, okay, after some exercises for practicing your line quality. Okay. We will jump to your basic doodles. Okay, in which we'll learn a little bit about doodles. What are those and why do we need them in your UCEED exam? How is it gonna help? Okay. But other than that, all the other sections still have some technicalities, some measurements, okay, in them that you have to follow some certain rules. Okay. But in this session, I want you guys to warm up a little, okay, in order to be comfortable with your own skills, in order to be confident with your own skills, okay. This is why we do line quality exercises and basic doodles so that you can be comfortable without judging yourself, okay. So for today's session, there is no limitation to what to draw, what not to draw. Okay. I am just letting you know how you can just relax a bit in terms of sketching. Okay. So even for basic doodles, I have a surprise for you. Okay, in which we are gonna do an exercise. Okay. From random doodle plus another exercise, which you're gonna find out in the end of the video. Okay. So let's start with your first exercise for your line curve. Okay. Exercise 1, which is to improving line quality. I know this heading seems a little tough, but what simply we are gonna do in this exercise to just grab your pencil, okay, and first of all, we have to make several lines, okay, on the paper without moving the space. Okay. Our aim by the end of these sessions is for you to use less and less of scale, okay, so that when you have a time crunch during your examination, you don't have to pick your scale every time in order to make this one single line. Okay, that will improve your line quality, right? And as I have discussed in the previous video as well, that repeated lines are not appreciated in any design examination even. Okay, to talk about UCEED particularly, then yeah, if we are to use several lines, okay, and if I'm going to erase this, just like this, always leave an impression. Okay, that will depict how you don't have a larger control on your line quality. Okay, so we have to control this portion where we are not using a lot of repeated lines. How to control your pencil that it would not involve on the other paper or the back side of the paper, because in the UCEED examination or any other design examination even, you will have the GSM quality of the paper, the answer sheet, equal to printing paper or normal printing paper. Okay, so this is why I always suggest to practice on printing papers itself, like how I am using, so that we can get a gist of the GSM quality as well. Okay? Because there's a huge difference between a printing paper and a drawing sheet, right? Drawing should have a larger GSM quantity, so it won't get imprinted or it won't transfer on the other paper. But in the meantime, your printing paper does all that because it's very, very thin. Okay? So this is my suggestion, ki always use your printing papers in order to exercise, so that you can understand and know where you stand in terms of imprinting on the other paper as well. Okay, which is not recommended at all. Okay, it shows that you do not have any pencil control. Okay, so in order to depict that yes, you have the pencil control, what we are gonna do is to do this exercise. Okay, you grab a pencil. I always say, in order to draw, whenever you draw details or small tiny objects, use two fingers and take 2 finger gap and hold your pencil from here. Okay. For your lines, basic, what we do, we take 4 finger gap. Okay. Starting from the tip, and we'll hold our pencil here, so that we will set an angle with your wrist, and you will set your wrist at a certain position, and you can draw the lines. Okay. With this method, when you are holding the pencil very farther away from the tip, what happens, you'll have that control that it will not emboss into your paper. Okay, it will be very, very lighter comparatively. Okay, so just like how I am doing after taking the 4 finger gap, just take the paper and draw small lines. Okay, in the starting, you feel like your lines maybe are wiggly, they are not having the enough, gap or space between them, or they are not straight maybe. But do not fear that, because again, this is an exercise for you to be relaxed and confident for your line quality. Okay, so what you have to do, if your lines are like, wiggly or going in different directions, somewhat like this. Okay, so you have to make quick lines. Again, 4 finger gap, quick lines in throughout the paper, continuous motion. Okay, somewhat like this, and you will understand how you are setting an angle for your hand with your pencil, so that you can make lines straighter and straighter. Okay. Similarly, in order to lose your grip, in order to lose your motion, okay, in order to control your pencil, you have to try a lot of figures randomly. Okay. Don't think about it too much. Don't have a lot of thoughts. We have to make this figure, or it should look aesthetic, it's not straight, or it's going in a weird curve which I did not expect it. No judgments at all. Okay? You just have to practice with your hand for your wrist. Okay, to set an angle so that your wrist will be stable. Okay? So for that, just make any shapes you feel like, any shapes you want. Okay, so I am also gonna start with different type of shapes. Okay, and you can take examples and inspirations from these sketches or these random doodles. Okay, or you can take examples from Pinterest. Okay, so just try to make any curvy lines. Okay, throughout the paper, throughout the page, so that you can just understand how your line, how your wrist is working towards what kind of curve. Okay, and that will develop into subconsciously. Okay, once you start practicing a lot how to make straight lines, eventually within 2 days, I promise you, in 2 days of dedicated exercise practicing, you will be able to achieve the straight line form without using any skill. Okay. Of course, it might take a little more time, according to your own understanding, but at the same time, this will help a lot in order to have control over your wrist and your pencil. So, let's do some more shapes. Okay, I will do some lines as well. Lines, straight lines are very, very important. You can do it horizontally or vertically or diagonally in whatever direction or way you want it to be. But this will help us a lot in your perspective drawing as well, in your scene creation as well. Okay, where you have to have a lot of lines. Okay, in this one frame in order to take a guideline. Okay? During that time, if you're not being able to make a straight line, it will be a very much task for you to grab a scale every time to make a lot of lines. Okay, so it's better to make and practice lines in the beginning so that you won't stumble or you won't be dependent on a scale. Yes. In the meantime, of course, using a scale is not prohibited in your UCEED examination. Using and taking colors are. Okay, so for the whole course, we're gonna learn about your shading techniques or how to depict different depths in a single frame using only your pencil shading. Okay, but in the meantime, we are trying to make you independent from the scale. Okay, but it's not prohibited. So you can take a scale in your examination. Okay, and you can use it in several ways, but let's not be dependent on it. Okay. So for this, let's make some shapes. Okay, I have these three scales which you always see in your during the college time, but these are a little different comparing to what you see on a daily basis. So this is a tri-scale. Basically, specifically these two tools are being used for architecture fields. Okay, where you need blueprints. Okay, where you have to be very, very specific about even 1 centimeter. Okay, so this scale literally measures the centimeters you're going down or up. Okay, and for the tri-scale also, it is used for very, very minute measurement so that the line would be exactly straight. Okay, comparatively, let me show you. Okay, so but today we are gonna use these three scales for our activity instead of making lines out of it. Okay, so after this, okay, your first exercise is this, where you have to make a lot of lines. Do at least, okay, I'll write it down here. Okay, at least 6 to 7 pages. Okay, I know it will seem very repeated and extra or something, but yeah, it's very good for you. Even today, whenever I feel very stuck, whenever I feel like my wrist is getting jammed, I practice the same exercises at least 7 to 8 times in a whole A4 sheet. Okay, and then only my wrist gets back with my rhythm of drawing. Okay, so this is why it is important to do attempt that. Okay, and we will be moving forward to your next exercise. Okay, which is your starting of the basic doodle. Okay, so we'll be using all these skills as well, but before doing that, let's discuss a little about doodles. Okay, so as it is not in your course particularly, but doodle is gonna help you a lot whenever it comes to your quick thinking. Okay, where you have to just quickly think about what are the other elements I can add in this frame. For example, if there's a kitchen scene, okay, when you're not being able to understand what extra details I should add in that particular frame. Okay, so then if you are someone who doodles a lot, okay, what happens in doodles? Let me give a snippet of it for you. In early ages, it was doodles were not recognized as a proper art form. Okay, people used to say it's for mindless less drawing, just scribbling it is, it's not very logical or Basically, because the whole definition of doodles are when you draw without thinking or without giving a lot of thought to this one particular topic. Okay, you just think about, for example, space. Okay, and you start making different shapes, inspired from space. Okay, so it can be an astronaut, a planet, then going with the stars, then different spaceships and satellites, etc. Okay, connected to one another, it just goes on. Okay, that's why people say it's mindless thinking. Okay, that you're just not thinking about it. What you are drawing, you're just drawing it, just for fun. Okay, just casual. Okay, very later on, like I think in this era, we a lot of people have recognized doodling as an art form itself. Okay, and because before this, even in 20th century, it was not recognized as a proper art form, and people used to be punished for it as well, for graffiti artists as well, that it was not considered as a form of art at all. Okay. But yeah, in today's era, we can see at least two examples, very biggest examples. There's this kid who got expelled from the school because he was doodling a lot, and people recognized his talent, and there was this lady who offered him a job. This is just a 14-year-old kid. Okay, I'm talking about. You can just Google it. And she hired him to decorate her wall. Okay, like she liked his doodles so much. Okay, so again, a lot of people are recognizing this as a art form as well. But why are we using doodles in this series? Is to make you spontaneous about your connecting of objects. Okay. But again, before that exercise, let's do one more exercise which is very, which is gonna make you feel more confident and free. Okay. And do not overthink about doodle as well, because doodle should be this one thing where you're not thinking about anything. Okay. So we are gonna start with this activity. This is your exercise number 2. Okay. I call this mindless doodling. Okay. Then, so basically this scale is used with like measuring the lines, but we are going to use it in a different manner. Okay. Like I'm going to take an outline from the scale. Okay. Then I'll just go with anything I see around and taking the outline for that. Okay. Do try this activity with anything which is around you at that time. Okay, anything. Okay, and take the outline for that. Okay. So I'm gonna make some round and circles. Okay, I'm not deciding upon what I want to make, what I want to create. It is just literally random. Okay? And I have this, so taking outline of this as well. Somewhat like this. And some lines over here as well. Okay. So these are the things I could find around me. Okay. Which are, you know, different base shapes from it. Okay. Very randomly. Someone could. Now, let's think. Okay, create what shapes we can create out of this. Yeah. So even for the thinking part here, you do not have to overstretch yourself. Okay, I have to make something this or that, or very connected or pressurizing. No. Okay, just think about what shape defines what. Okay. For example, if I look at this shape, the outer shape of this shape, okay, I just feel these two look like someone's ears. These two look like shoulders. Okay, so I'll just start making that. Okay, whatever there is in my head. Okay, so first of all, I am just outlining this. Okay, now if these are ears and these are shoulders, this should be the face, right? So, sunglasses. So, try to make it more right for the situation. Okay, how people with mustache only lower lip is visible. I understand with that. Again, this is very mindless. I'm not particularly thinking about any words. So just go with what comes next in your head. So it's like rapid fire. Yeah, what next? It should be your conclusion. Okay? By looking at this figure, what do you feel there should be drawn? Okay, so with that reference only, what mindless doodling. Okay. Again, no pressure, no matter it gets ruined, no matter you feel like this is not what you imagined. Do not judge yourself on these such basis. Okay. We are being very non-judgmental in this class. Okay. So that we can be confident. And in order to gain confidence, you have to let go of that thought that this is not, worth it or this is not exactly or perfect about the lines, about the shapes, etc. Don't think about it. Okay? Just go with whatever comes in your mind. Just go with anything funny. Okay, and it does not matter if it looks very eye-pleasing or aesthetic. Okay, it is just for you, your personal self, and no one else is gonna watch. Okay, be in that mindset when you are doing exercise, so that you can have control over your own drawing. So now the next part. Now there is this. And you look like facing him. So I don't know. I can just was something else. Again, I don't know. I love this does not look like a flower maybe. But I just felt like drawing it and trying it anyway. So why not? Okay. Just give yourself that space that it's okay to do the mistake. Okay. And now I'm just thinking about what a little song. Okay. Out of this, what is this? And you can friends, in doodling, most of the time emotions are being expressed in little signs and gestures, such as hearts, such as circles, such as bubbles, etc. Okay, so you can exaggerate your figure according to you, because of course in your next session you won't be allowed to do that according to the norms and the questions accordingly. Okay, we will be adding some exaggeration in your comic strip on character design, because that is an exaggerated version of each human anatomy or your storyboarding, right? But other than that, most of the time we are sticking with the formal things, the formal rules. So for this, for doodling, just express it out loud with draw whatever you feel like or whatever you want to. Okay? So yeah, after this, I feel there's a prompt going on. Okay, I saw this read 2 days ago about how only females get the flowers and no one gives flowers to men. Okay, so let's add that prompt somewhere here. Okay. And and for the calligraphy as well, it's up to you. What kind of letters do you want to use? It does not have to look aesthetically pleasing, okay, or accurate, or exactly out of your imagination. Okay, it it can be anything. Okay, so in this class, it can be anything. Okay. So, yeah, look somewhat like this. Now I'm adding your presentation I was talking about. So somewhat like this, then you can of course add a lot of different elements. Okay, for example, just to fill up the space, and you can go little mindlessly for this one. For example, I do not feel like adding anything here or here, and different shapes. So either I can remove this, or either I can just make something out of it. Okay. Again, you are the boss, your decision. Okay. So don't go with any kind of judgment, okay, for my drawing or for yours as well. Okay, because this session should be about only understanding. To draw effortlessly, to draw mindlessly. This is why I used a marker here instead of a pencil, because there are no chances of erasing and doing it again. Okay. Doodling is all about just do it. Okay. Don't think about it. Don't overthink about it. Just do it. Okay. So basically, doodle helps also a lot of people when they are facing a lot of troubles. Okay, in order to express themselves, specifically in art forms. Okay, because there might be some people, there might be some pressure that they have to perform, and I wanted to keep this session here because with such pressure of your examination, please do take your time to relax as well. Okay, please do uh, draw something without judging yourself, without overthinking if you're gonna be selected or not. Okay, just go with your yourself and your form of art and just make something without thinking or judging yourself. At least once in a while so that you can relax and cool down a little. Okay, so that you can gain your confidence again. Whenever you feel very stuck and you feel like you're not being able to make the sketches you require. So please do follow this. Okay, it will help you a lot. And yeah, so this is it. I think it's filled enough, and we have created a prompt using our space, right? And but without using a space. Okay. So please do this activity as well whenever you feel like you're stuck, whenever you're feeling boredom, whenever you're feeling overwhelmed. Do the mindless doodle, okay? The doodling, and it will help you a lot. Okay. So for our next exercise, okay, which I told you is gonna be your random divisions. Okay. So for this exercise, we just interpreted it. What are the shapes happening? What can you think about it? And we just went with it, right? For your third exercise, but three, which will be your random doodling. Here. Here, we will take examples of different things around us, to make it into a fun doodle part. Just a very, very tiny quick sketch. Nothing else. Okay, so, uh, number one, I have a bottle here. Okay, so I'll make an interpretation of my bottle. Okay, lots of portrait first. Okay, you can use different colors, markers as well, different pencils, you can pick colors, anything you feel like using, you can use that. Okay, so I am just gonna make a bottle here. Okay, without even thinking about how it looks or does not look similar to my bottle or not. Okay, I'm just gonna do it. Okay, and now you can add more elements to it, right? For example, my bottle is all black. Okay, and if I do it here, I feel like it would have been nicer if it had something, okay, on top of it, like any kind of figure. So, for example, if I wanted just line, on the bottle, maybe I can't make it right now. On a bottle, I can't do it out of a lot of concerns as well. Will I able to do it? Will it look nice? Etc. etc. But with doodles, you don't have to think about anything, right? So I'm just going with this, my desires, okay, about having such bottle. I'm gonna add such details, okay. Similarly, we can take example of anything else, which can be here, you know, my style. So we are gonna make a style. Then, and it will it written, make each day your masterpiece. Okay, and I really really love this song, so I do not want to change anything about it. So I just write it down in my own way. Okay. Yes, somewhat like this. We will add some extra lines, exaggerate outline. Okay. So what I'm trying to say for this exercise number 3, which is your random doodles, just go with the most basic shape you know you can draw. Okay, you know you can modify. You know it's very very easier for you. Okay, so just go with such shape. For example, this cup as well. Okay, so if we take examples from it, we will make a cup. Okay. You look at the product here and this thing. And a very basic steps, okay? You don't have to add any depth, you don't have to add any extra exaggeration, you don't have to pressurize yourself with a little bit of shading, etc. Do whatever you are comfortable with. So if you feel like making you know, colorful sketch of it. If you feel like adding shadows to it, if you feel like adding shades to it, do that. It's up to you. Okay. But if you don't feel like it, don't do that. Okay. Just go with whatever you see and try to make an illustration of that in any format possible. Okay. On a format you are comfortable with, without any judgments. I say it again. Okay. So, sure. Classes level. Okay, I cannot write a lot of things over here. See? Okay, adding one other color to it. Because again, I get it. You can mix colors, you can do literally whatever you feel like doing, whatever makes you feel comfortable, whatever makes you, there's this thing as well where you feel the temptation of using the new colors. I think a lot of people can relate to that. Whenever you buy a pack of new colors, you just feel like using it, quickly and immediately and to make something good out of the picture, right? So for that, even you can start with painting, okay, and you can try it out so that you will be confident with those colors you just said, okay? So, yeah, so you can use such lines as well instead of shading if you feel like shading. Okay, you can use some free references, or you can, basically take a random shade. For example, if I have this box of colors, okay, I want to make those. So I will give example for this. And I'm creating which will be sidewall comparatively. So we have regular pencil colors over here. Still for pencil colors, if I do not feel like using it, pronunciation shapes, and just going to a basic prompt. Okay, somewhat like this. Okay. Even with this, you can go ahead adding anything. Okay, like this is not similar to what we took our reference for at all, but we are just making our own version of it because we just felt like it. Okay, and then you can exaggerate the okay, different forms. Okay, you can add whatever you feel like adding into it. Okay. Just and wrong. And then I can exaggerate this as well. Right? Just moving your imagination. Okay. So somewhat like this, we can stand if we can take the example of the basic shapes around us and we can expand it by adding anything, uh, like the color flashes, some random, shaping or some random shapes to determine your mood, uh, what you feel, okay, you can add different gestures for that. Hmm. So again, it goes in all the directions. There are no limitations to doodling. There are no guidelines to doodling. Okay, and so somewhat like anything. So for example, why are we you know where can we use these doodles? The doodle sketch, the art form itself is, for example, if I want to create a kitchen scene, okay, what I give reference, you know, earlier in this video. So, if I am someone who is habitual of doodling and writing, okay, so whenever there is a matter of what should be in the kitchen, I will just start with one prompt and I'll just go with it, right? For example, if I say, write it down here, eating plate, kitchen items. Okay, for example. So this is the prompt you can take for yourself. Okay. For different scenes from different scenarios. For example, you are making a scene in a perspective drawing. There's this, you're answering or you're practicing this question. You're not being able to come up with a lot of things you feel. Okay, so you can take a rough paper out. You can write this down mentally or physically. Okay, and then start with doodling whatever you think of. Okay, in a very basic form, you can do that. So that you can take inspiration from your own head, from your own imagination, from your own drawings. Okay, so we can see a question over from here itself. This is our workbook. Okay, and you will be able to see our core study material along with our workbook for part 3. Okay, our app itself. Okay, from your KP Classes Exam Prep app, and as well as you can see different free materials as well. Whatever I make in the class for other classes as well, for our UCEED 51-day course as well. We just scan it up and we add in our free material section, which is inside our app. Okay, you can go and check that out for more examples. Okay, and for the workbook which we have here, we have a lot of different twisted questions. Okay, so that you can practice accordingly, because during your examination, as again I discussed in the previous video, the questions can be from these topics, which are the basic ones which we are discussing. Okay, but it will be very twisted according to the examination, like draw a railway including a train and other details you find in the railway station. Okay, this might be given that you have to make it in this perspective. It might be given you don't have any particular perspective, but you have to make it in somewhat perspective. Okay, so how to solve such questions we can learn from here, and you can see a lot of questions with twisted format as well according to your topic. Okay, it's like 2-point perspective, 3-point perspective, your human anatomy. Okay, so you can check this out for your practice work as well. Okay, so coming back to our kitchen items. Okay, so what do we see in kitchen? I see salt and pepper. Paper. Okay, I just want to take it like that. So it's okay. Okay. This is only for your personal reference and preferences, so you can guess what else you can add. Okay. So this is you're gonna do in your doodle exercises. Okay. This is a part of your random doodling. Okay. After making these random products, which is around you. Okay. We will do some topic-based random doodling. Okay. This is a part of random doodling only, but if there is a prompt. Okay. There is a topic. Okay, so you can just go in the kitchen, look around and draw whatever you see around you. Okay, it can be anything. And basically, because we are in Indian household, we see a lot of utensils which can be only find in, we can find in a Indian household, right, comparatively. And this is my personal suggestion. I always say this, key whenever you are solving a question from be it your workbook, be it any sample paper past year, whenever there is a scenario of a market, of a kitchen, of a road, etc., do not take reference from foreign countries a lot. Okay, what happens is they judge you on your observational power as well. Okay, and when you are detecting that you are taking reference from another country's reference, okay, so there is no relatability there. Okay, what happens if you are taking an example of an Indian kitchen? Okay, what happens is they will understand you are someone who has a lot of observational powers. Okay, you observe a lot of things, and on daily basis you should as well. Okay, so do not take a very plain scenario where you're not adding a lot of elements. They're just shapes, they're just random shapes, universal shapes, which anyone can find on Google, Pinterest, etc. You add your personality towards it. And how are we going to enhance that? By using doodles. Okay. So doodling random kitchen objects, okay, can help you a lot, because there is no limitation that you should not use any foreign aspect of in your sketch, right? There's nothing like that, but at the same time, this is just a suggestion that you should use the reference of the environment you live in on a daily basis. Okay, you should take reference from that environment in the first place. Okay. So again, I see this again in my kitchen. Here. Space water, something like that. Okay, and take example of salt, your spoons. Yes, tabulate that. Please, then we can get bowl. Okay, these are the basic ones. I am going to take others. Verma. For basic. Basic focus. Okay. See. So, super cute milk. That highly as well. Okay, and again, there can be a lot of things you can just go and see around in the kitchen. As I'm not in the kitchen, I'm just doing it with my own personal experience, what I saw today. Okay, so for this activity, I'll suggest just go in the surrounding and look around, just like we did here on the table that we looked around for the bottles, for the cup, etc. Okay, so after this activity, what will this do? It will just help you out in order to draw such items in your final sketches for perspective or scene creation. Okay, whenever that question comes up, if you have done this to at least seen your items in the kitchen, you will be able to draw that. Okay. So this will prepare you for making those tiny details I'm talking about, okay, in your examination, which is gonna impact your marks a lot. Okay, you are gonna be judged on these tiny basics as well. So, so this is the last exercise of the for the whole day, for the whole session, which I told you is gonna be a surprise. Okay, so last exercise for the basic good thing is exercise number 4. This is again, maybe we can take a prompt, okay, throughout this one frame, and maybe not. Okay. Now, this is something I suggest you to do because with paper, there's still that feeling of, okay, yeah, this looks good, and etc. etc. Okay. What you can do, you can take a t-shirt. Okay, I'm taking a white t-shirt here. Okay. And we are gonna take this one topic, or you can draw mindlessly. It's up to you. It's up to me right now. It will be up to you when you are doing this. Okay. And we're just gonna do on the t-shirt. Okay. So for that, of course, you will be using a base for it. Okay. And if you don't have an embroidery ring, if you have one, that's great. If you don't have that, you just take a normal simple board. Okay. And I place it inside the t-shirt. Okay. In the gap. And you can add these strings, the paper one, or you can add, the cloth flex as well. Okay, we just have to create a plain base, okay, something like this. And you can start. Okay, again, for this one, you can use references as well. There is no limitation. I always tell my students that you can use the references. There is no very hard and fast rule about that. At the same time, you can add a little bit of your personal touch to it. Okay. Do not copy the whole thing. Take references and inspirations from it. Okay. Make your own version out of that particular inspiration. Okay. So, for today, I can't think of a lot of things. So, let's take example of a, let's take our prompt to be animal. Okay, maybe nature, maybe sea, okay, and everything that comes along. Okay, and everything that pops in your. Okay. If you feel this is something you want to draw, it's going along, why not? Okay. Okay. So for the t-shirt thing, do try it. It's very fun. I'm using a fabric marker. You can get this marker anywhere in your stationery, local stationery shop. Okay, and use the black one. Out. Okay. So this is the marker. Let's start drawing without thinking about anything a lot. Okay. So I will go with animals. So okay. I can't think of anything. Okay, let's not overthink about something. That's the whole basic. That's just to the nature. For nature, the first thing that comes up in my mind is a mushroom. Okay. So I literally saw a very beautiful shiitake mushroom there. Yeah. Taking the reference from that. Let's add a little pieces to it as well. Like mushroom. Add yeah. Okay, and for the next thing about the nature, we can go for some science rock. Again, you can do this activity as well outside, where you can see a lot of things, where you can observe a lot of things. Okay, or you can do it at home as well, where you can think of a lot of things. For that matter, you can actually Google some of your references. You can actually just look out for some nature inspirations, etc. Okay, so let's carry on with this. Okay, and let's last. I know this can be a little bit, that moment where you feel like, I don't want to do this. You can go with a normal fabric as well. You can go with your old t-shirt as well. Okay. And what you can do, you can try the same activity out in a with a pencil at first, okay, where you can lay out a little, okay, and then you can go with a mark. Okay, that is also valid. That is also a good way. It's not like you can't do that at all. Okay, so I just it. Okay, so you can think of when we can't think of anything, just go to Pinterest or go to Google and you can just search writing animals. Okay. anything, and you just have to make it in a doodle form for your own self, for understanding that yes, you can make it in that format. Okay, and nothing else. There are no, again, no judgments because, yeah, inside your house, inside your cabin, inside indoors, basically, you might not be able to think of a lot of things. Okay, right then and there kind of situation you can talk about. Okay, so you can go outside as well, and you can go with your one notebook, and you can doodle whatever you feel like doodling, whatever you see around you. Okay, so other than that, I can I want to make an house. Okay. So once I started with the mushroom, no, I came up with one thing or the other, looking around or thinking of some reference, what we have created earlier as well. The some inspirations from here and there. And once your eyes can't find an inspiration, it will dwell inside. Okay, in order to find that perfect image or inspiration. Okay. So for that, or for that as well, if you don't feel like if you feel very confused, if you're stuck that okay, my head is not giving me a lot of ideas, you feel free to go to Google, feel free to go outside, feel free to go to Pinterest and just search for your references. Okay, but the thing is, why am I saying this here? You, no matter what references you look at, no matter what type of form or art you look at, ultimately you're gonna make it on your own, right? Ultimately you're gonna make it on your own style and format and form. Okay, so please do try that. Even if you take any reference, you make some changes in it, and make it your own little tiny version. Okay. Okay, don't be dependent upon that form of art made by some other artist. Okay, take the inspiration, but don't copy it. Okay, you can convert it into your own original thing, right? Now, now, think of something else. Okay. Before that, maybe I want to add, some little shapings into it because I'm going to use flowers. And it's not necessary to make a particular thing, or if you have thought about, animals, plants, and seeds, etc. So we can't make anything else. There's no limitations to that. You can change your prompt whenever you want. You can change anything whenever you want. Because again, this is not a very huge technical part which you have to do according to the prompt. Okay, you're just going with it. We're just selecting even a prompt so that we can think about it. We can think about different shapes. We can think about different animals. Okay. So, yes, this is kind of class. So, and the second thing you can do if you want to see it entirely original and of your own work. So what you can do is to make doodles and the plan doodles on a piece of paper, and then later on you can come for a teacher, okay, or the fabric, and you top it up with your own inspirations or doodles on top of it. So we can add more stuff into it, right? We can add. For this table only, you have an embroidery ring. It will be much better to draw. Okay, the pins, this does happen a little. That it's not stretched properly. But yeah, it's walkable. If you don't have embroidery ring, you don't have to go out and buy one just for it. And you can see. Okay. Some people make connected doodles as well, but of course, because our surface is very unstable as well, we cannot do it here. But of course, you can make like so many connected doodles here. So connected doodles, what I mean from that, one doodle is emerging, such as like this, and the other one is emerging from there only. Okay. So you can do this as well. And I really like this now, so I'm gonna make it here as well. Okay. Okay. I will use it before, right? So cat are cute. I manipulate the features. So let's see what is our result. So that we can be happy about our little family sketch. Okay. Just imagine, wearing something or the other like this. The other day. So, yeah, basically it looks like this. Very, very cute. I would love to wear this. Okay. So, of course, this will also boost your confidence. Okay. And to make this, you will feel very, very nice. Okay. And you can wear this as well. This is entirely wearable. Okay. So, do doodle every other day. Okay, whenever you are feeling stressed, whenever you are feeling overwhelmed, during your exam prep specifically, I'm talking about. Okay, and do not take a lot of stress at all. Stay with me, and we can do this within these 35 days. Okay, but you have to promise me that you will be, following all the exercises which I have done. You will practice with me. Okay, and I will make sure that you are selected in UCEED. Okay, so please stay tuned, and we will meet in the next video.
KP classes dedicated to excellence.